Some of the fastest rising stars in WWE and AEW could use a mouthpiece and shouldn't be saying shit.
Pro Wrestling Bits. Subscribe now.
WWE and AEW both have a plethora of midcard talent just waiting to be unleashed. In many cases, they're just one mouthpiece away. Whether it's the mystique of silence, limitations on the mic, or all of the above, not all wrestlers should be speaking for themselves. And pro wrestling history is littered with examples of talent leveling up just by being paired with the right manager. Let's start with an honorable mention in Bobby Lashley, but honestly, I think Bobby Lashley is doing just fine as a babyface without a mouthpiece. Lashley might be the most over babyface on the entire roster, and he's essentially the lineal world heavyweight champion, with Roman Reigns appearing on television less than Vince McMahon these days. As the United States heavyweight champion of the world, Bobby Lashley has credibility to give away, and as long as his promos don't go too long, he's pretty solid on the mic. Knuck if you buck, but I do like the idea of Lio Rush returning to manage Lashley, but I like the idea of Lio Rush in Hit Row a little bit better. Another honorable mention is Dark Order. Dark Order has lacked direction ever since they lost their leader, the late great Brody Lee. Hangman Adam Page is overqualified for that job, and plus, Hangman treats Dark Order like a side chick, where he really only hangs out with them on his time. The Dark Order needs somebody who can give them their full time and attention, and that somebody is Danhausen. Darkhausen would be a match made in heaven, as both embody the perfect combination of comedy goths. Just turn Danhausen's facepaint purple and let's go. Now let's get to this gangsta shit, starting with Hook, who has way too much mystique to speak. The more Hook speaks, the more it takes away from his aura. AEW is finally starting to build up its unsanctioned FTW title now that it's not being defended in meaningless matches among black talent. Now that the title has a great white hope, I wouldn't be surprised if it was eventually sanctioned, especially if the champion is undefeated. As Hook continues to gain steam, Taz makes too much sense as a mouthpiece. Much like their Team Taz days, Taz could deliver fiery promos on behalf of his son. It's not that Hook can't deliver promos at this point in his young career, which honestly I don't think he can just yet. It's that he shouldn't be delivering these promos. Hook has succeeded with less is more in AEW, and as he continues to Goldberg his way to the top of this company, Taz should be his mouthpiece both on and off commentary. Dexter Lumis has resurfaced on WWE television, but still has yet to even make it to the ring apron. In the spirit of Matt Hardy attacking Edge in 2005, Dexter Lumis' return to WWE is being treated like a worked shoot. Like he's not supposed to be there, but WWE security and ticket vendors just aren't doing their job on a weekly basis. Eventually, Dexter is gonna have to get his hands on AJ Styles, and when that happens, he'll eventually need to explain his actions. Problem is, Dexter don't talk. He's quieter than a wrestling journalist when it's time to criticize AEW during a media scrum. The solution to this problem basically writes itself. It's time to reunite Index. They don't have to be the campy, oversexed version of Index they were in NXT. As much fun as that was, they can be reunited as a heel duo. Indy Hartwell might not be ring ready for a main roster call-up, but that doesn't mean she can't start out as a mouthpiece. Sidebar, I recorded this way before NXT aired, and it looks like they're going in that direction. This would be great news for Indy because ever since Dexter was released, she's done her best Ruby Soho impression by just treading water backstage. It's time to swim over to Dexter Lumis and rekindle the chemistry that made them stand out in NXT. If that happened, they would be 2 more returns away from reuniting The Way. Then Johnny Gargano could feud with his rebellious son, Austin Theory, but now we're getting ahead of ourselves. Veer is approaching the point in his run where it's time to shit or get off the pot. Veer needs a real feud that adds layers to his character. Veer's a type of wrestler who benefits more from his physically imposing nature than he would from his promos. As Raw's resident monster, Veer needs a Dr. Frankenstein, and who better than Zelina Vega? Despite the explosion in women's wrestling of late, Queen Zelina has been in catering basically the entire Triple H era. Lest we forget that Queen Zelina was on the short list of pandemic MVPs. She's too talented a talker and has too much to offer mid-carders on the rise to sit on the shelf. Until Andrade inevitably makes his way back to WWE, Queen Zelina would be a perfect mouthpiece for Veer. Ronda Rousey is a heel now, and I'd love to see heel Ronda pair up with Paul Heyman. Much as I enjoy Ronda Rousey in WWE, I've never been a big fan of Ronda's promos, which always seem over-scripted and at times awkward. But Rousey is the perfect type of talent for Paul Heyman to manage. As a former or current manager of Brock Lesnar, The Big Show, and Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman excels as an advocate for dominant killers. Paul Heyman always had a Phil Jackson quality to him, where he's great at managing top stars and main eventers, but isn't necessarily the type of manager who can get over a mid-carder like Curtis Axel, Cesaro, Ryback, and Heidenreich, who are all crushed underneath the weight of Heyman's charisma. Luckily for Ronda, she's the type of top star whom Paul Heyman could manage seamlessly without having to worry about outshining her. The Powerhouse Hobbs push is underway, I think, and if there's anybody on the AEW roster screaming for a mouthpiece to get them to the main event, look no further than Powerhouse Hobbs. I'd love to see what Stokely Hathaway can do with the big fella, especially with Big Stoke giving the entire AEW midcard his business card. If Stokely Hathaway is building a team, that team can use a LeBron James. Will Hobbs can be that LeBron James. What wrestlers in WWE or AEW could use a mouthpiece? Tell me in the comments.